Hey, it's Scott from Gravity Rail here, and we just set up our inbound question answering hotline. We extracted our care plan into files so that we're ready to scale to many conversations. So why don't we, in this conversation, get proactive and build our first outbound member engagement workflow? Let's go ahead and do that as our first step in getting ready to track progress. So, heading back over to the Gravity Rail platform, you can see that we have our workflows here. We have our sample and getting started, but we have our inbound questions, and that is what we set up to allow members to reach out inbound and ask a question about their care plan. What I want to do, let's use that as a base because it already references our care plan. I'm going to go ahead and hover over clone workflow and click that. This isn't going to be an inbound question. This will be an outbound weekly check-in. All right. So we've cloned inbound questions to outbound weekly check-in. And instead of greet and answer questions, let's greet and check on member, right? Greet and check on member. Okay, excellent. Great, and so now let's head on over and update our prompt because we're no longer taking an inbound call, we're doing a weekly check-in. So we're going to greet them and see if they have any questions. Greet the member. Okay, fantastic. So now we're ready for outbound. But if you notice when we start these conversations, it's crickets, right? This still requires the member to start the conversation. So if we go back, you might have noticed this little chat bubble that sits here on each task. If I click that, I can actually set the initial message and we can personalize it. Hi user, first name. How have you been this week? And we can set translations and add a bunch of different languages and all that good stuff. But for now, we'll just leave it in English. And so when we start this conversation, this workflow, bam, we start with a personalized message. And this is great. It's working. It's allowing our assistant to start a conversation, but it's still only on the computer. How do I go about getting this on my phone? Well, to do that, I'm going to head on over to events. Events is where we manage the schedules of all these things. And so I'm going to create a new one called weekly check-in. We're going to run it. Don't need to worry about a group of members, and we don't need to schedule it yet, but you could set times of days and weeks and how often things run. But for now, we don't need to run it on a schedule. Let's just go ahead and create this. So we've got this event that fires, and when this event occurs, what I want to do is take an action. And the action that I want to take is I want to create a chat, and it's going to be the outbound weekly check-in. And it's going to be an SMS, though you could engage your members in whatever way is most appropriate to them. We'll go ahead and select our direct inbound number, and the initial message is already handled by our workflow. So we'll go ahead and create and update that event. And even though it's not on a schedule, I can still test it by running it for myself. And what we should have is bing, a message that just came in. Perfect. So now we are able to trigger outbound messages through this platform. And furthermore, we can see that that chat got created and it shows up right here in SMS. And so what we just did was we created our own outbound workflow to proactively engage members. This can be done in a drip via SMS, phone call, email, whatever's right. I'm excited to show you how you can take the member engagement to the next level in the next video.